One of the things I love to do is to open up things and see what they look like. And today I am going to open up these video game cartridges. Now some of these you only need like your basic tool set to open them, but most of them you actually need these specialty screwdrivers in order to open them up and take a look inside, because they have security locking bits in them. So these two screwdrivers were about $10, so it's not too expensive. But let's go ahead and start with two games that you can open without too much problem. Here, let's start with Super Mario Brothers. And I'm just going to use my fancy schmancy screwdriver set here. So we got the 3 screws out of there, but with this particular cartridge, it has these little clips on the end. So it makes it a little more challenging. I've never opened one of these before. Oh, never mind. It just popped right open. I didn't even have to do anything. I thought I was going to have to like jam it with the screwdriver, but nope, didn't have to do that at all. Okay, cool. So this is the first time I've ever opened my original NES Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt cartridge. So yeah, we'll pop this PCB out of here and we'll take a look at it. So I think there's some dust on it right there. Yuck. Now I know one of these is the lockout chip, the 10NES chip, and the other one is the MMC of these little guys here. I'm not sure which one is which though, because they're not identified very well. But then these two are the ROMs. I think one of them must be Super Mario Brothers and the other must be Duck Hunt. This might also be a controller chip to switch between the games. I'm not really sure. All right, time to put it back together again here. And yeah, it's just a matter of popping that in there and taking the case and putting it back on there. Okay, so in order to get the clips back in, they're not even really clips. They're just kind of hooks. Set it in there like that and just drop it down. There you go. Wow, that really is a cost-cutting measure. All right, we got Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt back together again. So now let's go ahead and open up Gyromite. Now this is a special Gyromite cartridge. As you notice, this one doesn't have the little hooks or clips on the end of it. And it's also a 5-screw, which means this might have the NES to Famicom converter inside of it. Let's find out. Now these were the early cartridges before Nintendo decided, hey, let's save a little bit of money on screws and make them with little hooks in there instead. Makes you wonder how much do these screws actually cost? Thinking about it, they probably do cost a little bit more in the sense that it takes time to screw these cartridges together. They probably had a machine that did it, but still, that's 40% more time that they would have to spend putting screws in. All right, here we go. The moment of truth. Will this cartridge have a NES Famicom converter inside of it? It's possible. It's very possible. Oh, there we go. And that would be a big negative. It does not have the converter inside. I'm a little disappointed, but they are rather hard to find. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Again, they're a little bit dusty, but not too bad. Ooh, now see, this one is a little simpler than the Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt cartridge, in that there's no other chip up here. So this one has got to be the 10NES lockout chip, and that says right there at the top, 1986 Nintendo on it. Of course, I could be wrong. I mean, does this game need a mapper chip? I mean, I don't think all of them have mappers in them, do they? Alrighty, Gyromite's all back together again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, I'm not sure which one I want to try next. Maybe maybe this centipede. This centipede cartridge was actually given to me and it didn't have a label, so I went ahead and made my own, but you know, that was like 30 years ago. But this one isn't too bad. It just has your basic Phillips screw on the back of it. Oof, man, that's tight. Now this is an Atari 8-bit computer cartridge. And pretty much all the games that I had for the Atari 8-bit were on cartridge. And this part is metal, and the front is just all plastic. So, okay. You think that's it, right? That's the easy part, is just getting that piece off. Now how do you get... there we go. Okay, so it just kind of dig your finger in there and just pop it loose. And then there we go. Oh, wow. That is a clean PCB. Now the Atari cartridges all have this really strange mechanism in here to protect the the connectors. In fact, I might have to take this little door off here to get it out, which I don't really want to do because this is such a pain. In fact, I'm not even going to bother. This is the PCB for an Atari 8-bit cartridge. As you can see, it has 2 chips in it. And I noticed that this one, you see me just push that down? It wasn't even down there very good. So I suppose if you have a cartridge that's not working, you may want to open it up and just check to make sure that the connectors are in there good. I don't know how that came loose. It just maybe creeped out over time. But yeah, this is a Centipede. You can see the little chip right there. All right, I think that's going to do it for the easiest to open cartridges. Next, we're going to get a little bit more challenging with this one, which isn't too bad, but the I think the screw is right behind this label right there. And yeah, you can kind of see the indentation there where the screw is. And I hate to tear up the label. Maybe I can peel it off before I do this. Even though this label isn't in really good condition, I hate to ruin it. Of course, this label's been on here for God knows how long. You can see, oh, kind of tearing it up just a little bit there. You can kind of see right under there where it doesn't want to come loose. So I just kind of scrape that off a little bit there. And I can almost make out the screw. Yep, there it is right there. I think I can get it with this flathead. Maybe. Oh, yep, I got it. Get out of there. All right, we got the screw loose. Just like me, it has a screw loose now. Now, these cartridges have little clips on the inside to keep them from being opened. A little more challenging than just taking a screw out, unfortunately, but you do have to take that screw out. I can't get it to open enough for me to wedge the screwdriver in there, though. See, I can see the PCB in there. I also got to imagine this thing is, 40 years old, and I don't think they used any glue, but good Lord, this thing's probably just like clamped together for dear life together. It's never coming loose. Oh, there we go. It just popped there. Oh, popped it again. Uh-oh, crap. It just depopped. Yeah, you can see the clip there. You can kind of see it where it's holding this from opening. There we go. Oof. Hope I didn't break the clips, but I just forcefully popped that open there. And these mechanisms are a little bit tricky because there's a spring inside of them. There we go. Oh. All right, so here we go. I really should have had my other ones open so you could see the comparison of the sizes. This is a basketball for the Atari 2600. And you can see just how tiny this little thing is, especially when you compare it to the size of the actual cartridge itself. I mean, look, just teeny tiny little thing in there. It's almost the size of a Lynx cartridge, actually. But the funny thing is, back then they were really worried about RF interference. So Atari would shield the living heck out of everything. And you can see that this chip here is just covered by a metal shield, again, to prevent RF from escaping and causing interference on somebody else's equipment. 1978. Can you see that? 1978. Now the challenge is trying to put it back together again. Yeah, it's seriously like a puzzle here. I'm not even sure how this is supposed to go in here. They totally overcomplicated it. I can understand why, like, Activision cartridges, they're just basic cartridges. There's nothing in there to protect the PCB. Because these are way, way more complicated. Alright, so I'm going to set the basketball cartridge aside for now. It's going to take me like an hour to figure this thing out. This is going to be more complicated than a Rubik's Cube. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and let's open up the Laser Blast cartridge. Now, I think it might be the same deal. There might be a screw underneath the label, which I hate it when they do that. I don't feel one under the label. The label's kind of loose. Oh, yeah, look how loose that is. Oh, and yes, I did. I found 2 screws. Okay. Dang it, David Crane. Why'd you have to put screws under there? Oh, those are some long screws, too. Good grief. I predict this one's going to be easier to put back together than that Atari cartridge. All right. Oh, yeah. See, I didn't even have to try to pop this thing open. It just opened right up. And here we go. Kind of the same deal as the Atari cartridge. They put a lot of shielding on this guy. I don't know what that is on there. Just some kind of a glue mark or something on there. Ooh, wow, this looks clean on the backside. What does that say there? Activision something. I can see Activision, but I don't know what the rest of those letters are because I'm blind. Laser Blast. One of David Crane's games, I believe. Oh, and that's interesting. Look at this. It has little spring-loaded inserts on the side. Now, this is what allows it to plug into the cartridge port correctly. And yeah, that's neat. Uh-oh. I think I lost it. Alright, I was able to get it back in there. Not too much problem. I probably ought to use a Phillips for this one. I just happen to have the flathead in there already, so I just kept using it. Alright, that's good enough. Dare we try the Atari 5200 cartridge, which has got to be way more complicated on the inside than the 2600 cartridge. Oh, this one scares me. I'm hoping this one screw just does it all, but we'll see. Alright, that came out pretty easy. Naturally, there's some kind of clips on the side preventing me from opening it. There's some kind of indentation right there on the label, but I'm not sure if that's a screw hole. I don't think it is. I think that's just like where they did the plastic injection for the cartridge shell. Usually what I'll do is I'll stick a flathead here on the side and just twist it, and usually it'll pop open. But oh, it just got stuck. On the 2600 cartridge, I just forcibly popped it open and it came open, but this one's just not cooperating. How did they open it in Cloak and Dagger? Of course, this is the same cartridge shell that they would have used for Cloak and Dagger. Alright, I think I got it. I may have broken some of the clips though, but what I ended up doing is pushing in the little cartridge protector here, and then popping this open just a little bit on the side, and then I could wedge my screwdriver in here and pop these open. But I think I may have broken something. Hopefully not, but man, that thing was a bear. So here we go. This is the 5200 cartridge. Again, the amount of shielding on this thing is insane. Good grief. No wonder this thing weighs so much. I feel like I should take the shielding off and take a look at it underneath there too. Can I even get that shielding off? Oh yeah, maybe I can. Oh yeah, just pops right off of there. All right, there we go. There is Atari 5200 football. It's only got 2 chips on there. Let's see, what does that say on there? 1982 Atari, Korea. All right, now how do I put this thing back together again? Something like that? Yeah, that works. All right, I don't know if I did it right, but it's kind of on there, so I feel bad for the folks who had to put these together. All right, I'll come back to this later. Gee, many Christmas. Hate these Atari cartridge designs, they're awful. Alright, let's check out this Game Boy cartridge, R-Type. Now for this you're going to need one of these specialty screwdrivers in order to get that out of there. And in this case, I think it's this one. Yeah, I'll write it down below the actual size. There we go, we're getting it. We're getting there. Now you can take these out and just replace them with regular screws. But since I don't have any to replace it with, I'll just put those back. Alright, so let's see how easy this thing is to open. Oh, please tell me. No clips on the side. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so it just slides. That's not bad. Slides right open. Oh, wow. Oh, man, I didn't even know this had a battery in it. Yeah, this is R-Type for the Game Boy. And I presume that's the ROM. I don't know if that's a mapper chip. I don't even understand the structure of Game Boy cartridges. I hope I never have to replace the battery. It's like it's clipped in there somehow. I don't know if I could even get that out. 1998 Nintendo right there. Pretty cool. Yeah, so far this is my favorite cartridge design. It just slides right up, and there's one screw, and that's it. Of course, it is one of those locking screws, so unless you have the proper screwdriver, you can't open these. And it doesn't seem like it grips on the screw very good. I'm kind of having to press it just a little bit to get it in there. There we go. Back to normal. All right, let's try Super Nintendo. Now, this also has the little hooks or clips or whatever here on the top. So I'm hoping that this is going to be really easy to open based on what I already know about the NES cartridges. I hope I'm getting this there. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's coming out. All right, we got it. And yes, it just slides right open just like the NES cartridge. And it kind of fell, so that's not how it was sitting in the case. Here we go. Let's reveal Mortal Kombat 2 for the Super Nintendo. I presume that's the ROM chip. This may be another ROM chip. Can you read what that says on there? It's kind of hard for me to read it. Maybe flip it upside down. Not sure. These all are kind of nondescript chips, but these have to be the ROM chips. And this one here says Nintendo on it. So does the Super Nintendo have a lockout chip too? I've never really researched that. But yeah, that's Mortal Kombat 2 for you for the Super Nintendo. There we go. See, it kind of sits in there. They've designed it in such a way that it's going to hook into the circuit board. And oh, well, how nice is this? See, it's not symmetrical on either side, so you can't put this in the wrong way. It has to go this way. So that's a smart way to do it. That's got to be it. That's the only way it'll go. And then we take the top of the cartridge and we just like lower it in there gently, and then it's hooked in there again. All we gotta do is put those screws back in. All right, here we go. Super Nintendo back together again. Got the screws in there, and no one will ever know that I've ever opened this cartridge. Let's keep the Nintendo train rolling, and we'll do Super C and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Now, this is a Tengen cartridge. These are kind of common, so somebody might have some of these, but yeah, these are definitely common. So let's try Super C first. This particular screw is not cooperating, or maybe it is already, and I just don't know it. Oh, I can hear that one kind of come loose. There we go. I find if I pull on it as I'm unscrewing it, sometimes it helps to get the screws out. All right, so this is Super Contra, or Super C. And again, I noticed that these little guides here on the side are not symmetrical. So you can't put this in the wrong way. All right, let's take a look at Super C. Oh, wow, check out that MMC chip right there. Which one is that? It's hard for me to see. Okay, that says MMC 3B on it. And these chips right here say Konami on them, so these have to be the actual game code. It makes me wonder, though, Nintendo supposedly was the one manufacturing all these cartridges. So if that's the case, why doesn't that say Nintendo on there? Why does it say Konami on there? Were they manufacturing their own chips and sending them to Nintendo to put in the games? Or what? I don't know what the deal is. And then I think this chip is the 10NES lockout chip here. And this chip says Philips on it, so I don't know what the Philips chip's doing here. But yeah, Super C, one of my favorite games of all time. Seeing the light of day. This PCB has never seen the light of day. In fact, none of these have, to my knowledge. Mortal Kombat might have seen the light of day. Somebody else might have opened this because this wasn't one of my original cartridges. But this is one of my original NES cartridges from back in the day. And I know this has never been opened before until now. All right, so Super C, back together again. Oh no, I thought it was pretty clever by putting this on the back of the cartridges. And that label's about to come off though. All right, let's try the Tengen cartridge and see if they were as clever as Nintendo was at putting these things together. This doesn't look like, oh it does. It does have these little clips on the front, just like the Nintendo, but it has 3 instead of 2. Oh, and this has a totally different type of screw. I hope I can open this up. So this is not your standard NES lockout style screw. This screw is more of a star shape kind of screw that's a little bit more common, I think. So you should be able to get the Tengen cartridges open pretty easily. Oh, here we go. It's moving. I don't like this screw. This is an evil screw. All right, so let's go ahead and open up the Tengen cartridge. Hopefully it's just going to pop right open. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, it's got something holding it. Something else holding it here. Come on, man. What is holding that in there? Is there another screw? Oh my god, there's another screw back here. Yep, I've gently peeled the label back and there's a hidden screw there. Thank you so much, Tengen. Alright, now let's see how easy this thing is to pop open. Oh yeah, comes right open. This is an unlicensed Nintendo cartridge. And there we go. There's your Tengen, Indiana Jones, and the Temple of Doom. And I presume this little chip here on the side is their version of the 10NES lockout chip. It's called the Rabbit chip. And it even says right there, 1988 Tengen. 3 chips on this one, though. That's kind of interesting. Are they all part of the ROM? Not sure. looks like it's slightly off center there, so I guess I can't put this in wrong. That's good. Oh, it just kind of covers over top of it. Okay. Hopefully I didn't damage that label too bad. Try to be very, very careful when I peeled it back. All right, so I'll put it back up there. So you can see I kind of scratched it up just a little bit there on the corner just to get that up. It's got a little bubbling there. I hate it when they put labels over the screws. So this seems to actually work better with the flathead than it did with the that star-shaped head that I was using before. All right, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom put back together again. All right, I want to try this hardball from Accolade cartridge, but as I'm looking at it, it looks like it even has a different style of screw in there. It's like a hexagon shape with a little dimple in the middle there. So I don't know if I've got something that can get that open. That's definitely not going to work. I don't think that's working. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. So yeah, I guess I'm not going to be able to get this open. It seems Accolade is really, really protective about their little crappy baseball game that they had. You know, is this really worthy of a screw that nobody can even open and take a look at the cartridge? You guys are not that great. All right, next I want to open up Sonic the Hedgehog. This is my original Sonic the Hedgehog cartridge. Ugh. Came with my Genesis, not for resale. And this looks just like your standard screws that I think I can use this with. In fact, I think I already tried opening it with this one and it seemed to be good. So yeah, here we go. And this is the 5mm, I think. I think this is the 3.5 or 3.75 millimeter. And I think this is the 5mm. I'm not sure. I'll write it down below what the sizes of these are. But this one seems fairly easy. And, oh, yep, just pops right open. That's easy. Super easy. And, oh, another PCB that is seeing the light of day for the first time. Oh my gosh, look how simple that is. Holy cow, it's just a single chip. That's it. I love it when they're so simple. So simple. I mean, there's not even a lockout chip or anything. It's just the ROM chip. Sonic the Hedgehog is hiding on that chip right now. All right, let's see if we can put this back together again. Can I put it in wrong? Not really, no. It kind of sits funky when you do it that way. And there we go. Sonic the Hedgehog back all together again. All right, next let's do virtual racing, which is going to be cool because it has a specialty SVP chip in it. Hopefully there's nothing difficult about opening this. We'll find out. It looks like 2 screws here on the bottom. I'm excited to see what the SVP chip looks like. Which, I mean, I'm sure I could look it up online or something like that, but I don't know, it's just cooler to see it for yourself. Seems like I have to twist it. Ah, there we go. Okay, wow, this is interesting. There's a piece of tape here and a hair. Ugh. But it's covered by this metallic sheath or whatever. I'm not sure what that's for. Flip it over. Maybe some shielding or a heat sink of some kind for the SVP chip. This is just loose, whatever this is. It's just sitting here. It's not. There's nothing holding it. Ah, here we go. This metal piece is just loose in there. You can see my phone in there. There we go. It's kind of work its way out. There we go. Yeah, see, it's got some kind of thermal paste on this chip here. I assume that's to keep it cool, and that's probably what this was. Yeah, see, it was touching the thermal paste on there. And this is what Sega was using for a heat sink. Okay, sure, that works. But here, this is the SVP chip. This is the only cartridge that has a chip like this in it. And I presume one or more of these is the actual ROM for the actual game itself. Virtual Racing. Here's the back. Kind of boring. But this is exciting. I like looking at this SVP chip. That's cool. Of course, the question will be, can I put this back on the way that it was? And do I even care? I don't know. It looks like, based on the design of this gunk on there, it looks like it goes kind of like this. And I take it all this is for is just to keep that from coming loose. Way to go, Sega. All right, well, I think that's how it was before. Again, I know for sure that's the way the heatsink was touching the SVP chip because of the design of the thermal paste that was on there. The quality control is kind of suspect on this. Oh, and I broke something inside. Dadgummit. So maybe I should super glue this back in there because it's going to be kind of wobbly otherwise. This is really the only way I can play virtual racing because my EverDrive cannot do an SVP chip. All right, and the last cartridge that I want to try to open is this Sonic & Knuckles. It has 4 flippin' screws, though. Jeez. Let's see what this looks like inside. This is Sonic & Knuckles, and it has even more screws inside. Oh, man. Not sure why they would have so many screws for this. Maybe they were worried of the lock-on cartridge coming loose or something. And by lock-on cartridge, I mean the cartridge that you lock onto the lock-on cartridge, which it has to be Sonic 2 or 3. The original Sonic won't work with it. And boom, there is Sonic and Knuckles. It's pretty funny how they've got this whole other cartridge slot right there in the top of it. That's so cool. And to my knowledge, this is the only cartridge that's like this. So you got your 2 ROM chips right there and a couple of supporting chips. I have no idea what those do. And this one also is designed in such a way that you can't put it in the wrong way. It's got the little guides here on the side, which is weird because it's like built into the case, and then the guide up here at the top. So they're not symmetrical, so you can only put this in one way. I love it when they do that. All right, well, there you have it. There's me opening up some old school classic video games. Some of them I wasn't able to put back together yet because it's going to take me a while to figure out. But some of these you can open yourself without too much trouble, even with a regular screwdriver, but you might need locking bit screwdrivers to get the screws out. Again, they're pretty cheap if you need to open up cartridges for whatever reason. I'm just doing it for fun because I like to look at the boards. But anyway, I really appreciate you watching me open up my cartridges. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. How the heck am I going to get this thing back together again? Oh, man, this case is harder to open than the cartridge. Oh, there we go.